And as we said, 6 inmates, they're still on the run this evening, and today Sheriff Susan Hudson said the jail needs more funding to prevent future escapes.
And while she said the community deserves answers and action, she also pointed to a faulty facility as the reason that those escapes happened. And Alyssa Curtis was at that hours-long meeting in City Council chambers. Alyssa, what is the sheriff saying that they need the money for?
Yeah, the sheriff says that the facility needs to be hardened today, and they need to fix some infrastructure issues. But some council members are hesitant, saying there's a lack of transparency.
The escape of 10 individuals from the Orleans Justice Center is unacceptable.
4 days after 10 inmates escaped the Orleans Justice Center, Sheriff Susan Hudson took responsibility.
As your sheriff, I take full accountability for this failure.
Not long after, though, she blamed the budget.
What happened last week was a crisis, but the conditions that made it possible are not new.
Hudson asked the city council for more money, saying the facility needs to be hardened today. But council members say there's a lack of transparency as to where the money is going.
The law is clear. The sheriff runs it, the council pays.
When you say jump, you want to say how high. If you're in the same system as every other department and you have a need and we can compare it with every other department to the same needs, then we can look at that accountability and make moves.
According to the council and the sheriff, OPSO is on a different system than much of the city. Council President JP Morrell says that means they can't see how much money OPSO has and where it's being spent.
When we don't know exactly how much money you're spending, how much money you have out, how much money you have in, the conversations get real murky.
OPSO says they have about $235,000 in a special fund, but says they want to save it for an emergency. But Council Vice President Helena Moreno says this would constitute as an emergency.
If every dollar really matters, then every dollar should really matter towards securing this prison, securing this jail.
OPSO officials say they've already redirected some money to capital projects. While the council decides if they'll allocate more money, Criminal Justice Committee Chair Oliver Thomas said the budget is a valid point of blame for the escape.
When you have questions about locks, when you have questions about soft spots and lack of security, absolutely.
Attorney General Liz Murrell says the jail isn't necessarily decrepit.
I would like to take a look at the funding and compare it to other prisons.
She says, though, the jail should have the capacity to handle higher security inmates. Hudson says they've also asked the State Department of Corrections for more funding. She says they haven't gotten an answer yet, but they were offered more personnel as well as help from the AG's office in prosecuting inmates faster.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much.